Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 19th. This week, you start with this Bear Tree card. It says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit. You have the Success and Triumph card. It says, nothing will be able to get in your way. You'll surely come out on top. So it looks to me like you might be a little unstoppable this week here, Sag, which would be great, especially if you're trying to, grow something or if you're trying to be successful at something. Definitely looks really good. You have the Ten of Cups, the Hangman, and the Ace of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups is a card, of course, of happy home, happy family, card of fortune after difficulty as well. So, I think that it has been time for a long time for Sagittarius to catch a break. And I kind of feel this reading is very good. So I feel that you could finally be catching a little bit of a break this week, or you could feel like you're catching a break with that Ten of Cups. Also, again, this is a good reading so far for love. And if you want a connection, there definitely could be a strong connection coming in for you with this energy. The Ten of Cups to me is also about like bringing a dream down to earth. These people are dreaming of these 10 cups, or they're kind of like celebrating the cups, but those cups exist above their heads. And so I always say they need to bring those cups down to earth and manifest the vision here on earth. The other thing is that you have the Four Wands to the Two Wands. The Four Wands would say that you need to commit 1,000% to the vision, and the Two Wands would just say that you're making progress. The Two Wands is also a great card of foresight, so it can say that you actually are seeing something that is real. One thing about the Ten of Cups is that it's a very good card, but if you read older tarot books about the Ten of Cups, some of them talk about how the Ten of Cups might not be real. They might be kind of lying to themselves a little bit with the vision that they're having, because they're still standing in the real world. So again, I think that what you are seeing is actually real, is kind of what that card is saying. You have the Hangman. We are in a time of unique perspectives. We are in a time of new perspectives as well. And, it's really, I just blame Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is innovation, and Pluto and Aquarius makes us see things different. So, he's hanging upside down. He is looking at something from upside down, from a different perspective. And yeah, it's just that simple. I think if you're, doing anything in life, you could be gaining a new perspective, or, doing things in different ways, and, all that other good stuff. But really the card says now you're ready to move forward. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs here on the card, but now it's time for him to kind of get off of this tree and to start moving forward. You have the Ace of Pentacles. I think you have 3 aces. Yes, you do. So 3 aces is amazing. Multiple aces is a definite new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles is like a really solid opportunity coming in for you. One thing I will also say is that going up, we have the Four Wands. Ace of Pentacles can be the path to marriage. It doesn't say that you are going to get married, but, again, if you're looking for love, you definitely could be either with a person with that Ten of Cups, or you could be meeting a person that you will marry in the future. The other thing is that we have the Sun right next to the Ace of Pentacles. So any opportunities that are coming your way this week, I would definitely take advantage of those opportunities. The Sun kind of makes things like a blessed opportunity. I also kind of feel that this could be something that you've been asking for as well. So you have 3 aces, the Sun, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands moves towards the Sun. And so don't second guess these opportunities. You cannot make this up. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Ace of Pentacles again. So this is like an opportunity to live your dream. And, again, I do kind of feel that energy of needing to make sure that you don't second guess a really solid opportunity that could be coming in for you here. I would grab onto it and make it happen, plain and simple. With the Hangman, you have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, damn, Sag. This is, I said to Libra that their reading was the best reading this week, but yours is the best reading this week, for sure. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is fulfillment or wish fulfillment. Everybody else, it's been a little bit of a challenging week for everybody else. Everybody else has had the Tower, for example, right? And you don't have it yet. Hopefully I don't have to eat my words here, but, again, very, very good. The Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment or wish fulfillment. And I do feel you could be moving towards something you asked for, like I said, with the Ace of Pentacles and the Sun. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Three of Wands. This is everybody's challenge right now, I feel. We are getting the opportunities we want, but we have to stretch to get those opportunities. So I kind of feel this is saying, like, don't be afraid to stretch. Don't be afraid of doing the extra work or going the extra mile to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. It's just the time that we're in. Anything we want to do, anything that's worth doing, is going to be a little bit of a stretch. And with the Three of Wands, he has to get onto those boats that are going somewhere he's never been before. They are going on an adventure. But you're a Sagittarius. You love adventures, Sag. So I would take advantage of this energy. We also still have Jupiter in your opposite sign, which I always talk about with you, because even though it's in your opposite sign, Gemini, it's still going to benefit you more than everybody else. So there could be some great opportunities for you to expand. Jupiter causes anything we do to expand. But for you, even though it's not technically your first house, unless it is, which it could be depending on when you were born, but again, for most of you, it's not. I would say I would still be doing things to expand, to stand out, to get attention. Especially with the Sun. The Sun is all about attention. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have two cards that basically say fate. You have this card, it says hindrance. It says fate has blocked this path for you. You have this hand of fate. It says forces beyond your control intervene. So it's like you are being guided, or you're like fate is guiding you at this time, Sagittarius. Sometimes I think we have to live through inspiration, which doesn't always make sense. It's like we can be inspired to go sit on a park bench for 24 hours, but most people would call you crazy if you did that, right? But, really, people who follow their inspirations become very successful. By the way, Eckhart Tolle, right? I think his story is that he lived on a park bench, right? And he became very successful. So, again, you never know what your inspirations can lead you to do. You never know what can happen, even though your inspirations might seem crazy at this time. You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. These two wanted to come out together, the Four of Wands and the Sun. The Ace of Swords is like a victory or a success. The Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. You also have the Two of Pentacles in this diagonal. So the Two of Pentacles can say that you are juggling choices or you are juggling decisions that you have to make. But with the Ace of Wands, the Sun, and the Queen of Wands, I would be making the inspired choice or moving towards inspiration with this energy, because that's probably where the victory will come from with the Ace of Swords. I also feel with this Ace of Swords that you could be overcoming some sort of obstacle. The other thing that says this is the Four of Wands, believe it or not. The Four of Wands can be a card of marriage. It is also a card of freedom, but that's kind of what I feel for you, is that you could be crossing some sort of finish line. I always say this right here looks like a finish line, and sometimes I feel we have to complete one thing so that we can go celebrate with these people on the other side of the Four of Wands. So it's like there's some sort of some sort of celebration that's coming in for you this week, because you're like wrapping up a cycle or you're completing something, and it feels really good. I think this is going to be a really good thing for you here, Sag. You have the Sun. The Sun can be happiness, joy, good things coming in for you. So definitely could be a lot of happiness coming in for you with the Sun, a lot of joy and peace and all that other good stuff. The Sun also shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to, and I do feel like your attention is going to be very important for you this week. Like, you need to pay attention to your attention, especially with the Ace of the 3-4 aces. Technically, I mean, 2 of them are the same, but you do have 4 aces here. So if you get any opportunities that make you happy, joyful, inspired, that feel like something that could be a solution with the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords can be overcoming obstacles. Those are the things I would be paying attention to with the Sun. The other thing about the Sun is that sometimes I think we can attract an opportunity that almost seems too good to be true, but maybe it isn't. Usually, things that are too good to be true are. But in this situation, if you're getting an opportunity that seems a little bit too good to be true, I would still be cautious. I don't think there's any reason to take a risk that's going to hurt you or something. But what I would say is I don't think it is too good to be true. I think it is true. So, the Sun represents ease. It doesn't say things are going to be easy. It just says things are going to have a nice flow. And that's really what I would be paying attention to with the Sun, is as long as there is a nice flow, things will go well. With the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands, you have the Four of Wands again. So definitely you are committing to a new beginning. The Four of Wands is marriage, but it can just represent you committing to something. It can say you're committing to a new beginning, a new idea. Whatever it is probably going to set you free, since the Four of Wands is the card of freedom. With the Four of Wands, you have the Two of Wands, which you have twice. All these repeating cards. Normally, Cancer is the sign that gets all these repeating cards, but you have a bunch of repeating cards already. So I love readings that have repeating cards in them, because repeating cards are basically the universe saying, I meant what I said. It's kind of like confirmation for your path, or it's the universe is kind of saying that you're in alignment with the things that you should be in alignment with this week. So I definitely get that feeling off of this reading. Two of Wands is a card of taking the lead, and a lot of you, I feel, could be taking the lead this week with the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is also kind of a card that represents going on an adventure, so a perfect card for Sagittarius. He has the whole world in his hands here, and he needs to get out into the world. He needs to go explore the world, and that's what I feel the card is saying. With the Sun, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success or a quick conclusion. So a lot of you could be charging towards success with the Sun. I mean, clearly, it's a very good reading. With all these aces, it's like you could be charging right into a new beginning this week or towards an opportunity. And the Eight of Wands is very good. Eight of Wands is also alignment. All those wands are pointing in one direction. And the thing about the Eight of Wands is that we have to be pointing in one direction for it to work. We can't be pulling in two different directions with this card. We can't be having a tug of war with ourselves. We have to be going in one place. So, again, really not much to say. Really good. Although what I will say, Ten of Cups, Sun, and the Eight of Wands is amazing social energy. So if you're like trying to get recognition at work, or if you're trying to stand out, or if you just want to have a good time, it would be a good time for that as well. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Lay a Solid Foundation card, definitely. You have this Koala Spirit, says Spirit has a plan. Clearly, Spirit has a plan here. It's like fate has a plan for you here, Sagittarius. With all these aces, having a solid foundation or making sure that you're laying a solid foundation is going to be important. So don't skip the important stuff. And, I would take your time with the easy stuff as well, especially with the Sun. I always say, I think that as humans, it's never really like the complicated stuff we make mistakes on, right? It's like always the little simple stuff. That's where we make a mistake. So I would take your time and make sure you're focusing on the foundation that you are building. You have the Four of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. The Four of Swords is a card of resting, relaxing, recovering. Yeah, there's a lot of busyness in this reading with the Eight of Wands especially. So making sure that you're balancing your energies. You have the Two of Pentacles next, and the Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. So I would make sure that you're doing that. There's a person who is blessing another person right here. And like this guy here is praying for a blessing. And with how amazing this reading is, you could be finally getting something that you've been hoping and praying for in your life. So I really like to see this for you, Sag. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles, again, work hard, play hard. Two of Pentacles is being very busy, spinning plates. Again, if I do think it could be busy for you with the Eight of Wands. So like I said a second ago, it's not going to be the complicated stuff where you make a mistake. It's going to be the simple stuff. So just take your time if you're doing anything important, especially if you're like filling out paperwork or doing something boring. Like that's where mistakes will happen. And, it popped into my head a second ago that you should be careful of that. I don't think it'll cause any problems. I think it'll just be super annoying, if you have to like go back over some paperwork or fill out paperwork again or something. It's just popping into my head, so I'm going to say it. The Two of Pentacles is also just great for work in general. So I think you are, really good work week. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about leaving a comfort zone, taking the lead, making progress. Eight of Wands is an amazing card for making progress as well. So that's kind of what I feel on the Two of Wands, is that you are making progress. It's clear to me you're ready for a new beginning as well. This wand in the background stands on its own, and he's reaching forward to this new wand. So the card itself kind of says that you are moving on to something new. It's like something in your life is established, and now you're working on a new project or a new business or a new idea or something new. And I think doing that would be amazing. The Ace of Wands is also out with the old, in with the new. So again, I think a lot of you are starting something new here with all this. With the Four of Swords, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, trusting your intuition. We are in a very intuitive time, so pretty much I think everyone should be really taking extra time to listen to their inner voice. The High Priestess is also a card of like visualization, and with that Ten of Cups, it's popping into my head. She has these 3 stages of the moon on her crown, and it says that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of anything that she's going to get started on before she gets started on it. So really, it's kind of like a card of visualizing what you want, but needing to visualize things as you want them to go. And I feel visualization would be amazing with the High Priestess. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Wheel of Fortune, Destiny, right? You have these 2 cards of fate showing up here. Clearly with the repeating cards and everything, there's an element of fate in this reading. It's like the universe is moving you in a fated direction, or the universe is trying to get you onto the path of your destiny, or whatever you want to call it. The Wheel of Fortune is also your card, Sagittarius. So, whenever you show up as yourself, especially as the Major Arcana version of yourself here, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So that's very good. The other thing is I think that with the Wheel of Fortune, we have to double down on the good stuff in life, and we have to make sure we expand what is working. And so I would definitely be paying attention to what is working in your life. With the Two of Wands, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is about taking the lead. The Two of Wands is a card of taking the lead. And I feel that you could definitely be doing things to take the lead in your life. This is definitely a reading where it seems like you are living on purpose as well. And so when we live on purpose, we make sure that we do things that get our life moving in the right direction. We kind of focus on developing good habits. We focus on saying the right things to ourselves and all that other good stuff. The other thing about the Emperor is that he has his armor on underneath his cloak here, and he's sitting down. He's not doing anything. But when an opportunity presents itself, he is going to grab onto that opportunity and make it happen. There's definitely something about this reading with all these aces, Ace of Pentacles to the Eight of Wands. This could represent an opportunity that comes in very quickly. So you're going to have to be ready for like a fated opportunity this week or whatever. Next, in the good stuff, you have this Avoid Drama card. You also have this Process Your Feelings card. Yeah, with all this quick-moving energy showing up in this reading here, Sag, it might be a good time for you to just have, carve out a little bit of extra time to check in with yourself, a couple times a day, and just make sure that you're, still in alignment, and that you're doing all the right things, and that you're, make sure that you're not doing things that you hate and all that other good stuff. And that's what I would do with these 2 cards. You have the Queen of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. The Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, making things happen. I always say that she needs to be bold and assertive, but she's coming up in the good stuff. And she has this sunflower. Like I said, the sunflower points towards the sun. And that's what I feel you're doing, Sagittarius. I think you are moving towards the sun. You are moving towards, joy, happiness, peace, all those other good things. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. And as a matter of fact, like I said, the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands kind of say that you have to stretch a little bit. You're going to have to push yourself outside your comfort zone a little bit here. But, I kind of feel like you are with this card, so that is good. You have the Six of Cups. We do see a very playful reading, I would say. Ten of Cups, Sun, this card. Two of Pentacles even says that you should be working hard but also playing hard. The Six of Cups can be a card of innocence and nostalgia, but, it is a card of childlike energy. Being more playful, making sure you're living a life of fun and enjoyment and, not working too hard. Make sure that you're doing the things that you love to do, all that other good stuff. Sometimes I say that the Six of Cups is a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround, meaning we could have been bumping up against obstacles in the past, And now with the Six of Cups, we can overcome those obstacles. And the Ace of Swords is definitely said to me that you could be overcoming some obstacles this week or overcoming some issues. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about having appropriate boundaries. Seven of Wands is like drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is what I'm willing to accept in my life, and I'm not going to allow anything below this point into my life. And so I think it would be a great time for you to make sure that you're not allowing anything that you don't want into your life with the Seven of Wands, and that you're focusing on committing to things you do want. The Seven of Wands is also just a great card of conviction. It says the more sure of yourself that you are, that you're going in the right direction, the more likely it is that you are going in the right direction. So we have to be really sure of ourselves, and we have to be focusing on the right things with that card. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. A lot of people have had the Eight of Cups this week, I've noticed, and we had that full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in Scorpio is all about being honest with yourself about like what your truth is. So if you are doing things or working on projects or ideas that don't align with your truth, then you're going to have a hard time. If you work on things that do align with your truth, then you're going to have a great time. And I would just make sure that you are focusing on things that are your truth, that do bring you into alignment. And that's what I would focus on with that card. With the Six of Cups, you have the Strength card. Strength is about your inner strength. The Strength card, the lion represents her inner voice. And she is getting this lion to submit to her. It has its tail between its legs here. It's coming up in the good stuff, which is good. It kind of says that you have been developing your inner strength. And the other thing that it could be bringing is attention. We see a lot of attention in this reading with the Sun, the Queen of Wands, even in the Strength card. The Strength card is a display of strength. So she is having to do something to put her strength on display. She is sticking her hands in that lion's mouth. And I always say, who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? The answer is nobody. But you could be doing something that requires strength in life, and you could be getting a lot of attention because of it. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. This is coming up in the good stuff. The Five of Cups is a card of practicing gratitude. He needs to be grateful for these two cups that exist behind him. And when he sees this bridge and this castle. You could finally be releasing something that no longer serves you with the Eight of Cups in this card. And you could finally be finding something that is kind of like your Two of Cups. I wouldn't really call this a love reading, although there is, a little bit of love here. I think that this reading is more like an alignment reading. It's like saying that you are getting into alignment with what your fate or whatever you want to call it. You have this Rooster card. It says, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. Yes, even though Mars isn't retrograde any longer, during Mars retrograde years, even after the retrograde, I always am very careful of people who are like this. And I think that you should be too. I would just trust the evidence. It's one thing if a person says they can do something and they can actually do it, and they do. But it's another thing if you're dealing with a person who is saying they can do something and they can't. And that's what I would be careful of with this card. You have this February card. I always clarify these monthly cards. You have this Bull card. It says, do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Strength card. Ace of Swords is the card of fortitude. So between now and this time next year, or in February of next year, I would make sure that you are kind of showing strength in the things that you are working on. Seven of Wands would also say that between now and February, it would be a good time for you to make sure that you have appropriate boundaries. If you're working on something important, you might not have a lot of time to spend with some people. So you're going to have to pick and choose the important connections to spend time with, for example, with the Seven of Wands. And that's what I would do here. You have this Bouquet card. It says compliments from an admirer. Again, if you want love, definitely, even though it's not really love reading, I think love always exists. So you could absolutely be meeting a new person or, getting together with new people. You have this Club card. It says someone will try to make you do something against your will. Seven of Wands, right? I think the Seven of Wands is saying if there are things you don't want to do, just say it. After that full moon we had in Scorpio, I think it's really important that we stick to our boundaries. That if we say something or if we don't want to do something, we don't. And we need to like really enforce those boundaries. Saying no is hard for some people, and I would just say no. That's it. You have this key card. It says successful outcome to your problems. We said that on the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and you also have that success and triumph card. It says nothing will be able to get in your way. You will surely come out on top. You are unstoppable, Sagittarius. So, damn, Sagittarius, this is one heck of a reading. I love it. So, thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.